Hey everyone, Mr. Tweet here. So today I'm going to be going over real GDP with you guys. Now, because there's kind of two different methods for this, I'm going to be going over the simplified method in one video and then the kind of regular method or the more real method in the other video. All right. So for this first one, when we're looking at kind of a simplified economy, I've got 3 years, 2013, 2014, 2015, and 3 things are being produced: hamburgers, French fries, and sodas. Now notice that as time goes on, right, the number of burgers changes, 10 to 12 to 10, fries goes from 8 to 5 to 10, sodas goes from 7 to 5 to 2. So some things are going up, some things are going down, right? Also prices are changing, right? We have a burger is $3 in 2013, a burger is $5 in 2015. Fries are $1 in 2013. Fries are $2 in 2015. So prices are changing, quantity is changing, right? So what I have down here at the bottom for each year is the total nominal GDP. Nominal GDP is that year's production and that year's prices. This is what we learned back like in section 2 of this unit, right? So if we want to know how productive we are, we use GDP, which adds up the dollar value of all final goods and services produced. So I have 10 burgers times $3 price is $30 of production. 8 fries times $1 gives me 8. 7 sodas times 1 gives me 7. I add those up and I get my total GDP. So in 2013, I got 45 for my total GDP. For 2014, right, I have my quantity is changing, my prices are changing. I multiply the burgers times the price, the fries times the price, the soda times the price, and then I get my total GDP, $68. And then in 2015, multiply my burgers times their price, the fries times their price, sodas times their price, and I get $75 as my total nominal GDP for 2015. Now the question is, right, which year was actually the most productive? I know it looks like 2015 was the most productive, but was it really, right? Because notice there was more burgers in 2014 than there was in 2015, but there's more fries in 2015 than there was in 2014. So it's not like super obvious which year was actually more productive. And the problem with using these GDP numbers is that my prices are changing because of inflation, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a base year. And I'm going to make 2014, I'm going to make this my base year. Why? Because I just picked it that way. On a question like on a test, they'll tell you which year to assume as the base year. So this is my base year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to like 2013 and I'm going to use my base year prices. So I'm going to plug in a 4 right here. I'm going to plug in a 2 for fries and a 2 for sodas. And then I'm going to recalculate my GDP based on those new prices. 10 times 4 is 40. 8 times 2 is 16. 7 times 2, 14. And I end up with 40, 50, 60, 70 as my answer. So my real GDP, right? This is my 2013 production in 24 prices, 2014 prices, right? Because I used my prices from 2014. So these are my 2014 prices. So I got 70 as my GDP. My base year, I don't need to change because it's already in base year prices. So that's still going to be 68. So the first thing that we see is that based on 2014 being our base year, 2013 was actually slightly more productive than 2014 was, right? Now we got to come over to 2015 and we got to plug in our 2014 prices because that's our base year. 4, 2 stays the same. That becomes 2. 10 times 4, 40. 10 times 2, 20. 2 times 2, 4. And I get 64 as my new adjusted GDP. Look at that. It turns out that 2013 was actually our most productive year when we used 2014 as our base. Now, if we used a different year as our base, we actually might get a slightly different answer, right? So anyways, this is our simplified method for calculating real GDP. This only works in a theoretical economy when we're only producing like 1 or 2 or 3 things and it's taking place over like 2 or 3 years. It's the only way that this will work. You couldn't do this in the real world where we plug in the prices from, from last year for everything that's produced into this year, because things change. New products are created. Some things that were, used in the past are no longer used anymore. And especially if you tried to compare like 2020 to like 1982, that would be really impossible because so many things are so different that this method wouldn't really work in the real world. But in a super simplified econ experiment, if we've only got 1 or 2 things and it's only 2 or 3 years, then we can, and we know what the base year is, we can just plug the base year's prices into the other year's production. All right? All right, I'll see you guys in a minute. Do another video where we look at kind of what we actually do in the real world, how we convert nominal GDP into real. Peace.